Hey, it's Reverend James Fother from United Church of Montbello. I'm pastor in Denver, Colorado, there at United Church of Montbello. And this is May 5th, and it's the Wednesday podcast for Bible study. And today we're considering the subject, Aging Gracefully, Living Gratefully. And we are grateful to the New Testament's wonderful genealogy of Jesus that begins the Gospel of Matthew. Today, let's remember that when we go back into Genesis in the Prime Testament, the first book of the Bible, we get the genealogy of the oldest human recorded, and that is Methuselah. And Methuselah's legendary life goes this way from the 5th chapter of Genesis. When Enoch had lived 65 years, he became the father of Methuselah. Enoch walked with God after the birth of Methuselah 300 years and had other sons and daughters. Thus, all the days of Enoch were 365 years. Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. When Methuselah had lived 187 years, he became the father of Lamech. Methuselah lived after the birth of Lamech 782 years and had other sons and daughters. Thus, all the days of Methuselah were 969 years, and he died. Methuselah. There's Methuselah's story today. And my meditation today comes from the book by Carter Henderson, Funny, I Don't Feel Old, How to Flourish After 50. Remember, we're aging gracefully and living gratefully. Here's the meditation. 4-time Pulitzer Prize-winning poet Robert Frost was well into his 80s when President John F. Kennedy asked him to read at his inauguration. The ceremony was held on the east portico of the Capitol on a bitterly cold day in January, with a wind so strong that it whipped around the pages of the poem that Robert Frost read, making it impossible for him to read it very easily. Without missing a beat, the white-haired poet recited another one of his works from memory. President Bill Clinton was the next to invite a poet to speak at his inauguration, and he chose 64-year-old African-American writer Maya Angelou, who composed a new work celebrating the colorful diversity of the American people. Maya Angelou, who was 69 at the time, held 50 honorary degrees, had written innumerable books, including her best-known I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, and every year she was making about 80 appearances on the lecture circuit before her death, earning roughly $15,000 per talk. Classic studies of older people who do great things, such as Harvey Lehman's Age and Achievement, or W. Dennis' later article in the Journal of Gerontology, contain fascinating insights into the age at which individuals are most productive, beloveds. Lehman and Dennis agree that older people are far more productive in many disciplines than their younger colleagues. However, Dennis' work corrects several omissions critics see in Lehman's findings, and puts the peak performance at an even more advanced age than Lehman. Let's be conservative, however, and go with Lehman, who found that the best work in mathematics, physics, genetics, entomology, bacteriology, psychology, anatomy, electronics, and other scientific disciplines is done at age 35, while in astronomy, it's between 40 and 45. Outstanding work by older people is much more common in philosophy, literature, music, and the arts. The Italian high Renaissance master, Titian's Martyrdom of St. Lawrence, and the unfinished church Pietà he was at work on when he died in his late 80s are among the world's artistic treasures. Concert pianist Arthur Rubinstein, at 89, suffered from a serious eye condition that prevented him from reading a note of music or seeing the piano keys beneath his fingers. Yet, relying completely on memory, he gave a recital of New York's habitues of New York City's Carnegie Hall, still a treasure to this day. Handel composed the Messiah at age 56, and Verdi his Falstaff in his 70s. Michelangelo designed the Church of Santa Maria degli Angeli at age 88. Sophocles wrote Oedipus Coloneus at 89. Picasso kept painting into his 90s, and Grandma Moses was turning out delightful canvases such as Catching the Thanksgiving Turkey up until her death at 101 years old. Advancing age, surprisingly enough, doesn't seem to be a handicap in mind games such as bridge and chess. In a recent documentary about Bill Gates, he continues to play bridge, and his partner in those bridge games is the well-known financier and we'll note his partner very shortly. Bridge and chess, though, continue to be a great hobby of those who are advancing in age, which demand, of course, strategic virtuosity and a top-flight memory. World champion chess players Emanuel Lasker and Vasily Simlov continue to thrust and parry at their exalted level into their 60s, and Waldemar von Zetwitz won the World Mixed Paris Bridge Championship with Barbara Breyer at age 74. The one calling where men and women in the home stretch of their lives are most in command is leadership. The age of U.S. presidential candidates, for example, peaks between 55 and 66. In the 1992 presidential race, two of the three candidates, George Bush and Ross Perot, were well into their 60s. Outstanding world leaders are often well seasoned, to say the least. India's Four-time Prime Minister Indira Gandhi was 66 when she was gunned down by two members of her personal security guard. Golda Meir became Premier of Israel at age 71. Ronald Reagan was still President of the United States at age 77. Winston Churchill was Prime Minister of Great Britain at age 80. And Konrad Adenauer was Chancellor of West Germany at age 87. Warren Buffett is the bridge partner of Bill Gates. Warren Buffett, the financier. The two of them love to play bridge and do so with great verve against opponents, all comers of advancing age. So if your hair is silver and you want to keep on going or even begin something entirely new, you've got plenty of role models who have done it with grace and style. These are just a few of the examples of those who are aging gracefully and living gratefully. I wonder for you and for the folks in your families that you remember back, those whose lives didn't extend either to age 50 or didn't extend beyond age 50 to the age you are right now. They would dream of having the opportunities that you have in your life in these times. So stay fit, continue to exercise your mind, continue to build your strength over the years, and continue to contribute. They say that those in the baby boomer generation and earlier who are still alive today can be counted on to be consistent helpers in our culture and in our society in many ways and in many facets where younger people have yet to take up their mantle and to help things become better for others, the way in which these who bear a gray hair or two on their heads continue to be contributors in this society. They're aging gracefully and living gratefully today. We may not live as long as Methuselah. Oh, goodness knows that would really be a feat. But regardless of how long, how many days and hours, months and years God gives us as a gift on earth, let's continue, you and I, to do our best to age gracefully and live gratefully. This has been Reverend James Fother, pastor of the United Church of Montbello, seeking to inspire you today and always. And today, I'd love to invite you to worship. We're worshiping virtually, and you can join us at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time. 7:30 a.m. Mountain Standard Time at ucmontbello.online.church. That's ucmontbello.online.church. Each Sunday, Mountain Standard Time, 7:30 a.m. And then the service replays both on our Facebook fan page and our United Church of Montbello Facebook family group page. You can catch it there anytime after its first run at 7:30 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. We'd love to welcome you on Sundays. And this Sunday, let me say to those mothers in the audience, those grandmothers and aunties and contributors to your families and other families as godmoms as well, that this May 9th is your day, moms. And so today we want to say thank you, and we want to thank God for each of you, and we want for you to have a beautiful day and a wonderful time on this coming Sunday, May 9th, year of our Lord 2021. This is Reverend James Fother, pastor of the United Church of Montbello, signing off and wishing you all the best this glorious Wednesday afternoon, May 5th, 2021. Thanks.